I've seen a lot of games, and I have a feeling this one is going to be special.
It all comes down to this. The final week of the NFL's greatest team season, regular season, begins with an inconsequential division battle between Philly and Dallas. First play of the game, a disaster for the Cowboys, part of a brilliant first quarter for Philadelphia. This was the Nelson Aguilar game. He dives in for the touchdown, but in a momentum-swinging fumble, Ajayi's lost ball, recovered by Abrams, results in 2 touchdowns to close the half from Troy Aikman, and Dallas has the lead by 4 at the break. Nick Foles was terrific today, and Nelson Aguilar was on the receiving end of nearly 200 yards of Foles' passes. Up by 10, Eagles give up that score to Smith, and after a 3-and-out, Dallas has one final shot to knock out their NFC East foe, but Aikman is picked off with one hand by Chris Long to seal a Philadelphia victory, 24-21 over the Cowboys, but Dallas will be the 4 seed regardless of how today pans out. Buccaneer Hall of Famer Tom Brady has had a terrific season for Tampa, but the better quarterback on this day was Atlanta's Chris Chandler. Martin with this leaping touchdown grab. Meanwhile, Tom Brady throws one of 2 interceptions here to Ronnie Bradford. This one brought back for a score. And to make matters worse, late in the ball game, Tom Brady shuffles out of the end zone for his Dan Orlovsky moment in a 25-6 rout by way of Atlanta. 7 teams will be eliminated from the playoffs today, and the '98 Vikings would be the first one with a loss against the Giants. Lawrence Taylor with his 4th interception of the year and his 2nd return for a touchdown to tie the ball game at 7. But Randall Cunningham and the Vikings were brilliant after that, and Phil McConkey made matters worse. A usually sure-handed return man lost and returned by Fuller for a touchdown. Vikings blitz the Giants by 13. Here's a look at the NFC playoff picture going into the final Sunday of the year. And the NFC will be determined now as the number 1 49ers battle the number 5 Rams in St. Louis. San Francisco knocked out the Rams going away back in the first meeting 33-19. They meet again in a must-win for both. Kurt Warner and Joe Montana have been 2 of the top 3 quarterbacks all year. This promises to be a great game, but this highlights start on special teams. Flagler loses one of 3 return fumbles this year, and Fletcher returns for a touchdown, part of a 14-3 start for St. Louis in just the first quarter. But then it seemed the 49ers flipped a switch since then. Montana catches fire, this long touchdown from 69 to Mike Wilson, part of 29 unanswered points for San Francisco. This run from Craig appeared to have sealed it, with the 49ers leading 32-14 going into the 4th quarter. Warner does throw a pair of 4th quarter touchdown passes to lift the Rams back into it in a deja vu moment of the game at Candlestick back in week 4. Rams defense needs to stop it. They do even better with a Flagler fumble. Carter recovers, giving the Rams a chance for overtime. They would need a 65-yard touchdown drive. Warner goes for it all right here out of timeouts, and Eric Wright intercepts Warner to win the conference. San Francisco with the victory is now 13-3. The 1989 San Francisco 49ers have the best record in football. This is the AFC playoff picture going into the final week of the NFL's greatest team season. For all 4 in the Hunt Club still technically alive, a loss will end their season. So for the 1988 Bengals, who have turned things around, including a massive win against Kansas City to get in this spot from last week, they battled the lowly 4-11 Jets. And what got them there was Boomer Esiason, so fittingly he would play very well to help give the Bengals a chance. Long score here to Chris Collinsworth puts him up 21-6 late in the ball game. Namath wills the Jets for a touchdown drive, but it's too little too late, as this onside kick is recovered by Martin to keep the Bengals alive. Cincy at 9-7 still has a shot. A winter wonderland out of Orchard Park between the 8-7 Colts and the 9-6 Bills. It seemed even the snow wouldn't slow down these quarterbacks. Kelly and Manning combined for 461 yards and 5 touchdowns. 3 from Jim Kelly, including this long one on a screen to the struggling Andre Reed. Manning to begin the 4th bounces back with this touchdown for the Colt lead, but in a seesaw battle, Buffalo finds the end zone yet again. Bills need a win and some help to make the wild card. Meanwhile, the Colts clinch the division with just a victory, and Harrison gives them the lead with under a half minute to go. This game appeared to be over, but the ensuing squib kick is recovered by Davis, giving them a short field. It seemed a bad idea for Vinatieri. Kelly comes out firing. It seems even the snow wouldn't slow him down. 21 to Lofton, another first down to the Hall of Famer with the face mask on rookie Antoine Bethea, and then Davis scores 2 plays later, forcing the Colts to score another touchdown with just a few seconds left. Final play of the game from Manning is a deep ball, but short of the end zone to Harrison, and the 1990 Bills in a seesaw battle knock out the Colts in a thriller 27-23. Everything's lined up perfectly for the Jaguars, a win, and they clinched the division championship. But Bernie Kosar could not be stopped today. It's his best performance of the season, 22 for 34, 254 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Jacksonville had their chance, but get blown out on the road, and their season comes to an end. Browns 31, Jaguars 14. The NFC South championship game between the 2009 Saints and the 2015 Panthers from the rain in Charlotte. 2015 NFL MVP Cam Newton finishes the season with 24 touchdown passes and shreds that hapless New Orleans defense with 4 touchdowns in this one. Panthers win going away, and to make matters worse, Devery Henderson loses his second fumble on the day, and Luke Kuechly recovers. In what has otherwise been an incredible season for the Saints, this is a heartbreaking way to go out. Here is a look at the updated NFC playoff picture in the middle of Week 17. Green Bay still in the hunt. They're hoping for a Chicago loss to mix things up in the NFC playoff picture. Bears not only clinched the division, but also a first-round bye if they take care of business against the worst team in football, the 1-14 91 Lions. Mike Singletary played well. Early interception of Eric Kramer here, but after 3, the Lions had a perfect position to knock out Chicago. They had outgained the Bears in a terrific performance at home. McMahon in the fourth quarter delivered a championship drive, however, for Chicago. First down pickups here to Willie Gault, and then later in the drive to a sweeping Dennis Gentry, who takes the handoff and runs 24 yards for the Bears' lead with 2.5 minutes to go. Meanwhile, for the Lions, Eric Kramer, who was benched midway through the season, he's got a chance to be the hero and force overtime, but he's picked off by Singletary, who wins the division with a return touchdown for Chicago. It took a little longer than anticipated, but the Bears earn a first-round bye with this victory over Detroit, 28-14. The 2 seed out of the AFC is on the line in this game as well, between 2 classic clubs out of the 70s, 78 Steelers, 72 Dolphins. Greasy begins the fourth quarter with this touchdown, and otherwise a defensive battle, 13-6 late in the ball game. We pick things up with under 2 minutes to go. Dolphins with a chance to seal it. Instead, Morris is stopped on a third down, giving Pittsburgh a chance, and they take advantage right away as return man Theo Bell spins away, then draws a face mask, giving Bradshaw and company a short field. He's delivered in so many games in the clutch this year, but on the first play, he's picked off by Curtis Johnson, who brings it back for a touchdown, his 6th interception of the year. The 1972 Dolphins will play the wild card game against the 06 Colts next week. Don Shula coached for both clubs and will have a chance to win against his former team. The 2011 Texans are going to miss the playoffs, but Hall of Fame wideout Andre Johnson should be celebrated for his incredible performance all year. He goes over 1,000 yards with his performance against the Patriots. Biggest play of the day, a 72-yard touchdown for the lead. Andre Johnson, a very good receiver all year, almost as good as Randy Moss, who's the only player with 10 touchdown catches this year, one right there. Patriots take a 6-point lead with 2 minutes to go on that Gostkowski field goal. Houston a chance to salvage the season with a win against the big bad Patriots. Instead, the offense goes 3 and out, and they punt and not recover the ball again as the Patriots grind out the win. New England is the number 1 seed out of the AFC, and Brady's a big reason why. His offense, second in yards, first in passing, and first in turnover differential. An incredible year for the 2007 Patriots, who finished the season at 11-5. Very simple scenario for the 96 Packers. A win and you're in, a loss and you are done. The season is over. Kurt Warner throws a back-breaking end zone interception. Evans, for the 3rd time this year, returns for a touchdown. Green Bay leads at the break 14-7. But Warner bounces back, long ball to Steve Preston, and then DRC, Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie, with a pick six himself. 80 yards from Favre, and the Cardinals lead going into the 4th, 21-14. Edgar Bennett scores only his 3rd touchdown of the year right here. We're tied at 21 late. A critical Neil Rackers miss with under 2 minutes to go looms large. Packers couldn't do anything on offense, but the game goes to overtime. Green Bay, for the 2nd time this season, wins the overtime coin toss and does not relinquish possession. A gutsy playoff drive for Favre and the Packers. Levens runs them in the Jackie field goal range, and then the kicker knocks it down. The 96 Packers will pay a visit to Charlotte for the NFC Wild Card playoffs next week. The 1999 Titans and the 2013 Seahawks are both eliminated from the playoffs, but for one final time, that Legion of Boom defense delivers with 4 takeaways today, including 2 on interceptions from Richard Sherman. And the Seahawks legend finishes the year with 9 picks on the season, 1 away from the all-time league record with Nate Odom's 10 in season 1. Seahawks finished the season 9-7, but they have something to celebrate with an excellent year from Sherman. The AFC West will be won today. The 06 Chargers still have a chance for the postseason. They need to defeat Washington down 3 at the half. Art Monk has had a terrific year and otherwise a tough season for Washington. His touchdown gives the Redskins a 13-10 lead with under a minute to go. Rivers was brilliant on this critical 4th quarter drive with the season on the line. 3 first downs, including this one to Michael the Burner Turner. Do they have time for one final play? The Chargers do not. The Redskins end San Diego's season 13-10. The 2019 Chiefs could end the Broncos season with a win at Mile High against John Elway and the Broncos. The Denver quarterback has had a magnificent season and finds the end zone another 3 times today against the hapless Kansas City defense. Game 1 between these two was won 41-38 by Elway and the Broncos. A similar feel in this one from the frigid cold in Denver. Mahomes needs a bit of magic with the Chiefs down 2 scores. All points courtesy of Butker field goals, and he'd received that in a 4th and 6. He finds Travis Kelce, who slips a tackle and nearly scores. The Chiefs would find the end zone the next play with a Williams touchdown. Broncos have a chance to milk the remainder of the clock. Davis spins his way into field goal range, but the Broncos settle for 3. Elam from 42 hits it. Denver up 2 scores yet again. Kansas City needs points late in the game, and Mahomes keeps their comeback hopes alive with a first down to Pringle. And with under 20 seconds left, he dials up an end zone shot to Hill and makes the grab for his 6th touchdown. Chiefs still alive, down by 2. They need an onside recovery, but Willie Green recovers, and the Broncos win the division 28-26 Denver. The final game of the year is the game of the week for Week 17, 2000 Ravens, 1976 Raiders. Stabler has been terrific during the Raiders' winning streak, and a win would lift Oakland into the postseason. A loss, and Buffalo has the final wild card spot in their place. Stabler was terrific in the first half again. 2 touchdowns lifts them in front 17-7, but backup Tony Banks wills the team in for the score to close the half. A critical touchdown going into intermission. Into the 4th quarter now, Stabler tries to make too much happen, and Chris McAllister picks him off. The Ravens would score a few plays later to take the lead, and then Stabler again picked off, this time by Starks for the touchdown. Baltimore with a massive lead with over 2 minutes left. That gives Stabler one final chance, and he would find Siani for the touchdown. This 2-pointer, it's a 5-point game. Raiders get the ball back. Another brilliant drive from Stabler with the season on the line. 2nd and goal to the end zone for Stabler. picked off by Sharper, and the Ravens knock Oakland out of the playoffs with a massive end zone interception. The Raiders have been eliminated with this shocking loss to Baltimore, and that is the NFL's greatest team season.